Okay, hi everybody. I'm gonna just give you a quick overview of the Sinking City, but this actually, instead of my previous two videos, which was the PS4 version running on a PS5 on an SSD, this is the actual PS5 version, which unfortunately you don't get as a free upgrade, so I've had to stump up the extra money. But I like this game, so so this is continuing a game. This is how quick it loads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blimey, 4 seconds, if that, to load in a game. Now, there are visual enhancements. The lighting, like if you look at the back there, do you see the way the light is casting light on those rocks and things like that? And the way the sun's moving and everything? That was not in the PS4 version. Now I thought the PS4 version, in terms of smoothness running on a PS5 on an SSD, it did improve the load times dramatically. I mean, you bring up the map, but I mean the map here is so snappy, it's just ridiculous. It's the way it should be, but obviously different hardware has different restrictions and things like that. So this graphically, they've improved the overall look and the colours. When you talk to people, the camera seems to zoom in more on the faces, and it shows a lot more detail. Purely on I mean the actual there's reflections on the water here a bit better now. This looks, it's got a better colour palette than the PS4 version. Now, if you've got the PS4 version, I mean, I've got a PS5, so I wanted to upgrade to this version just to check it out because I really like the game, and I've had to start from the beginning again. You don't really need to upgrade it, but if you're like me, it's a bit like the difference between a Blu-ray and a 4K movie. It's a lot more subtle, the differences, but the lighting does look a whole lot better, and just things like quality of life, the loading on this is super fast, even faster than the PS4 version when it's on a SSD. Now obviously this does install to the SSD, but this game is just, I mean, one of the biggest complaints when the game came out was the jankiness and things like that. I think there's better reflections as well, and shadows and things like, so if you look, I mean, you can see in the water, but you can see some sort of shadowy reflection. The actual character models do look higher res. I mean, this lighting over here, I mean, look, you've got like God rays and things coming down. Those weren't here in the original game. So they have improved the visuals. There is some feedback on the controller. For example, like when you, I can't remember what it is now. There's one of them where you squeeze the trigger and it's got like force feedback. So when you do the camera, it feels like you've got some resistance. So they've done some basic dual shock, or whatever this is called, dual sense updates. I think there's more people around as well. I think they've upped the number of pedestrians and people. I think that's a very subtle addition that they've done as well. Now the other thing I noted was that when I looked at the hold on, let's have a look. Where have I got to go? I've got to go to City Hall here, so I just need to go for a run. So what I've noticed is that the install size is basically more than doubled. The original PS4 install size was 12 gig, and I think this one is something like 30. I think it's 3 times the size. So they've actually uploaded, I mean there is pop-in and sort of stupid stuff like that, which is the graphical engine things, but they have uploaded higher res textures into this game. Some of the fog that you had in the previous game was a little bit, don't know what your problem is, mate. Some of the fog that was in the previous game was a little bit over the top. Oh, here we go, I've got another fast travel point. But you look at the map, it's crystal clear. You can read every road name and everything at the default. So the previous game must have been 1080p, or maybe some checkerboarded thing. I'm not quite sure. But you do get a 4K 60 frames a second, super fast loading, higher quality textures. The character models look better when you're having discussions with them, when they're zoomed in. There's a guy at the beginning called Mr. Throgmorton who looks a bit like an ape, and they fixed the colouring on his face. It looks a lot better. So I think they've done, you know, a reasonable upscale. You could call it like a remaster almost, really. But what they've done by putting it on PS5 is they basically make it so it's more playable and not so janky, because a lot of the criticism before was that it was janky and you know, didn't play that well, and when you died there was a long loading screen and all this sort of thing. I mean, there does seem to be more depth of colour in the buildings and things like that. The fact that they've zoomed in the camera as well to look at the characters more. They've done a little bit of camera adjusting, which is a bit like you know, Mass Effect remaster that's going to be coming out soon as well. So overall, if you haven't got it on either version and you're in a PS5, I would definitely go for the PS5 specific version. One of the other things they've done, which is weird, is that they haven't done other things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got to talk to my friend now.